Thank you, Mia. I'm a member of the team at HubSpot, and this is a part of the Founder Focus series where we're going to be having a roundtable on outbound sales. And for those of you who haven't been to these events, it's an event series meant to connect you with other founders, give you a chance to chat with each other, meet with other peers, and hear from experts who have been in your shoes. These events are sponsored by HubSpot Connect, which is the platform that we host this community on. So if you enjoyed today's discussion, feel free to join us there. We're going to be having a recap and we can have this conversation recorded and you can keep up to date with the conversations and events that we have coming up. So today's roundtable is with Renato Silva, who is a 3-time founder, achieving 2 profitable exits and brings over 14 years of experience in sales and marketing. So we're really excited to have him here today. I'll give him a chance to introduce himself in just a moment, but a little bit of housekeeping. Today's event is a roundtable, so it's meant to be interactive. We definitely want to hear from you, hear your expertise, hear your questions. So definitely feel free to chime in as we go. We have a few questions that were submitted ahead of time. So we have a few things that we want to talk about, but by no means is it limited to that. So we want to hear from you. But first we'll kick it off with some introductions. So I will pass it off to Mia from my team, who's my co-host, and will be moderating today. And we'll just popcorn from there. So Mia, I'll kick it off to you.
Thank you, Allie. Yeah, hi, I'm Mia. I'm a community manager at HubSpot, in charge of the German product community, but also moderating in the Connect community. So if you have any questions about the forum itself or connect.com, yeah, feel free to hit me up in the community or tag me. I'm based in Berlin, so it's the afternoon today here in Berlin, and I'm looking forward to my dinner after this event. Okay, I'll popcorn it over to Mike. Mike, you want to go? Actually, we already introduced ourselves and where we're from. Mike, could you tell us a little bit more about your company, the company that you're building or you're currently leading?
Yeah, so my name is Mike Stuchnoff, and I'm in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. We're a national not-for-profit organization called Indigenous Works, and I was their director of sales, but I've actually just moved into independent sales consultant capacity with them, which has a larger, more potential upside for myself, but I'm still working with the same organization. Um, Former bank manager, community manager of 13 years with the Royal Bank, and and now I get to use my knowledge, skills, and abilities in a way where I can connect with people in a different way. And essentially at our organization, we have a platform that is nationally recognized for Indigenous inclusion. So how to go beyond the check mark, not just meet your status quo for expectations, but embed Indigenous people into your work culture and corporate culture, and then that's what we do. And so HubSpot, I used a different platform at the bank, of course, and I'm sure everybody has their own platform. HubSpot, I am in love with. I think it's great, but I know I'm not using it to its potential, and I think that not only me but our people in my organization have a lot of make work projects that I think HubSpot can simplify for us, and I need to learn how to do it. And kind of be the
Oh.
leader within my organization on how to do it, because I think that there's a lot of more simpler ways to do things than we currently are. And
Mhm.
so,
Okay,
but that's
I
that's
see.
why I'm here today. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we can lean a little bit into this, but yeah, it's the event is right up your alley on sales and different approaches to sales. Okay, thanks. And DJ, do you want to go next? A little bit about your company, why you're here today. Thanks.
Sure. So I'm TJ Butler. I'm the founder of 45 Solutions. And essentially what we do is we are a fractional HR company. We work with small businesses, organizations that have less than 99 employees here in the US. And we do everything HR related so that the business owners don't have to wear that HR hat. We take it off of them so we can focus on their employees, the culture, the talent acquisition strategies. So we work with organizations from a fractional perspective, and then we also provide recruiting services as well. located just north of Philadelphia, PA. I can work nationally. I am a somewhat HubSpot user. This is unlike Renato, this is my first company that I've owned. And it's probably going to be the only one. This is kind of like I guess you'd say almost like exit strategy or retirement strategy for me. Basically, after spending 25 years in corporate America, 20 of which were in HR and talent acquisition, I wanted to create a company where I could be of service to small businesses and give back, not just to my local community, but also to other organizations and really just help people, whether it's the business owner or the people that work for the business owner.
Oh, that's great. You're bringing a lot of experience into your own company now. Okay, that's great. Thanks, TJ. Victoria, do you want to go next? A little bit about your company. You can also tell us where you're dialing in from, since I think we didn't see it in chat yet. I think you're still on mute. If you can't speak right now, that's absolutely fine as well. You can add a couple of infos in the chat about your company. A link also suffices to the web page. That's absolutely fine. Alan, do you want to go next? A little bit about your company, where you're dialing from. Oh yeah, Victoria, thank you for dropping in the chat.
Yeah.
Audio issues.
Yep. Hello. Yeah. Hi, Alan Dean with Wethos, and we are think of us as Moneyball for Business, a behavior analytics company helping teams and individuals perform better by using AI, both predictive and generative.
Oh, nice. Riding on the AI wave right now. That's
Yes.
great. Thanks, Alan. Why did you join today? Is there anything specific you would like to learn in today's event? Nothing specific, but just generally.
Yeah,
Okay, got it. Thanks. Nimi, do you want to go next? I think you're on mute, or you're not, or maybe you have to change the audio source. I'll let you do that first. Change it. I think it's changing the audio source, but yeah, once you're set up, let us know. Clayton, could you tell us a little bit about your company, where you're dialing in from?
Yeah, so I'm here in the United States, actually in California right now. So I live out of a travel trailer traveling across the United States. So I work fully remotely. And so we just started a company doing revenue operations and HubSpot implementation, as well as HubSpot processing for more ag specific companies. I have quite not a lot of years in the background, but have a handful of years in the background that doing working with ag companies, and just saw an opportunity, decided to jump on it. So
Nice. Okay, thank you for the intro. And yeah, Daniel, if you're able to hop off mute, please go ahead. Otherwise, you can also drop an intro in the chat. Oh, or Nimi, do you want to go real quick with a short intro? Okay, I think you're still on mute, but you know what? You can drop an intro in the chat.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, now we can hear you. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm the CEO and the founder of Vignet Pay. We are a card payment processing company and merchant services provider here in the UK. We deal mostly with small to medium businesses, helping to reduce their cost on their card payment processing.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Today I was just interested in, as you introduce how to learn to develop the business to acquire more customers and to build an organization. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for how to go. So yeah, I'll now invite Renato, our guest today. So you've heard some of the intentions today, generating leads, I guess, working with HubSpot. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself first? Ali already did a short introduction, but if there's anything you would like to add, and or maybe your experience with HubSpot as well. Do you have experience with HubSpot? Please take it away.
Yes, sure.
Sorry, are you still me?
Yeah, I think it's me now. But you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're still unmuted. You should be able to mute yourself and below though. I've invited Renato now to take over since he's our guest for today. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Nimi.
Okay, so let's go. My name is a little bit tough to say. It's Renato Ferreira or Silva. You guys can choose anyone you want. And I'm the founder, as Ellie said, of Insight Sales. Today, we work as a HubSpot partner, mainly focus on RevOps as a service. So we implement RevOps strategies in our clients and also implement HubSpot. I worked together with HubSpot for more than 10 years. I think I started at 2014. At the time, HubSpot only had the marketing solution, so I saw the kid grow. Basically, I saw the launch of the Sales Hub, the Service Hub, the Operations Hub. I already worked with all of them, so I see the beginning, and I'm seeing the big guy today. So it's amazing to see a company grows like HubSpot did and see the product mature like HubSpot did as well. So I think that's it. In 10 seconds, this is Renato. I'm from Brazil. Belo Horizonte. Belo Horizonte is just like the Texas, the Brazilian Texas. So here we have a different accent. People, they don't understand it. They don't understand us very well, but we have really good food. So I think I'm fine with that.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Renato, and yeah, greetings to Brazil. Yeah, thank you for the introduction. It's exciting to hear that you've been working with HubSpot for so long, like since the beginnings. So, if any of our attendees today have any specific questions about the implementation in HubSpot, I think we can address that too. Yeah, feel free to add your questions in the chat as we go, or also just hop off mute if there is something that you really want to know. But we have received a couple of questions from you via the form that we added when you were signing up for the event, and I want to make sure that we go through those because there are some really good questions in there. One of the first questions, I guess, is in regards to outbound sales, which today's panel is about. Obviously, in today's world, when we're all fighting for attention, it's really, really hard to generate trust with prospects. How to make sure that they look at your messages, that they take you seriously. Do you have any tips around that? So how do you build trust with your prospects in the outbound sales process?
So great question. And Mia, basically, I think we need to make the inbound process work together with the outbound. Because normally when you do a cold call or you send a cold mail, for example, the lead will search for a company to see if you are truly an expert in that topic and what cases do you have. So I think I think it's easier to generate trust when you have content addressing these problems. You can do this content on LinkedIn, you can do this content on YouTube. Today, people love see videos, and I think videos, it's easier to teach something than a blog post, for example, but you can do both. But I think today it's nearly impossible to do outbound alone. You need to have content to increase the success of the strategy.
Okay, Renato, so your recommendation would be if you're, for example, a sales rep or the only person who's currently building the company is to build your LinkedIn profile as well with relevant content. Is that one of the advice you would give? Okay, to build your persona and area of expertise. Okay, that's a great tip. Anything else that comes to mind? Any other tips? Like emails? What does usually work? Ads?
Yeah, I think emails is a good strategy, but you need to try different channels to see what is the best for your ICP. So, for example, if you only send emails, it's very difficult to know if a LinkedIn approach will be best, for example. or for example, if cold call, it's a better way to approach your leads. So at the beginning, I think it's best to do a sequence strategy using at least three different channels to see what will work best for your scenario, and also use videos in your approaches. So for example, build a short video on YouTube explaining how you can help your leads. Add this video in your email, for example, and send it. It's a good way to see if they are engaging with your content, and it's good for them to see your face as well, to see if they are not buying from a machine and a human instead.
Yep, yeah, that's a great tip. Lean into video, and yeah, that's actually we can already go to the next question because it's connected to what you just mentioned, that you have to do outreach via multiple channels to see what works. Somebody asked what to start with when you're doing outbound sales. Should you start with telephone cold calls? Should you start with telemarketing? Should you start with email to generate leads? What should be the first channel that you hit?
So depends on the budget. I always say that because the email channel is the cheapest, but it's not always the best. But I think if you don't have a lot of money to spend, the best way to start is using email, because you can do a lot of leads in one day without any problem. The second one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is you don't need to pay. You don't need to pay to send a lot of messages. They have some constraints. For example, I think we cannot add more than 100 people a week, but the reply rate, it's pretty awesome. It's about 25%, so it's a good way to connect with your leads as well. And cold calling is also great, but depends on your market. If you work with a digital market industry, for example, cold call is not so effective. But if you work in a more offline industry like real estate, it's a good way to approach your leads. So I think the answer depends on two different things. The first one, the industry you work, and the second one, it's how much money do you have to spend.
Oh yeah, the age-old money question, yeah, the budget question.
Yes.
Mike had a great tip as well for outreach. I guess email, LinkedIn works. Oh, like LinkedIn doesn't work in this case, but personalization. So yeah, at least for emails, to personalize the emails to make sure that you're sending relevant content. I think yeah, that's a great tip. Okay, we can go to the next question, which was yeah, it's very short, but I think we can expand it. Generating leads and productivity. I think productivity is the main focus here, because obviously you want to reach out to as many leads as possible. So I guess yeah, organizing, having a structure is probably the most important aspect in being productive. Do you have any other productivity tips when it comes to outreach?
Great. So I think the first one is to have an ICP, ideal customer profile, for you to know who do you want to prospect in your market. And the second one, you need to have a platform to reach these guys. So you have Apollo, Seamless, Uninfo, you have a lot of companies that do this job for you. You just need to fill the filter information. And also the Sales Navigator is an amazing platform as well to do it. And to generate more leads using inbound strategies, I think a good way to do that is to analyze the best performing content, to add CTAs and also a form in your blog post, for example. But when you talk about outbound, you need to use a platform. It's very difficult to do this manually, because you're gonna need to try a lot of different email variations for one person, for example. And paying, I don't know, $100 a month, you can generate more than 10,000 leads if you have the right ICP. So it's a good way to start, and it's not very expensive as well.
Okay, so yeah, the most to assure productivity, having an ICP, having the customer profile, and for so ICP, yeah, that's ideal customer profile, right? Okay.
Yes.
I think jump in. Thank you, Renato. Yeah, I think HubSpot calls it like buyer persona, but it's mostly used in marketing. Is it exactly the same, or?
No, the two work together, but the ICP it's more like a firmographic thing, and the buyer persona is more like what do you think your lead or customer do in a daily basis, in a routine or hobbies, but they complement each other.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, so we are having an ICP first, and then for outbound sales, definitely rely on a platform that helps you do that. Do you have any other recommendations than HubSpot in terms of, well, HubSpot is, I guess, is best with inbound sales, but you can also use it for outbound. Do you have any other platforms that you use?
Yes, I think to generate outbound leads, I think mostly these three, because they are like the same thing. They use the same database. The only difference is the integrations they have. I prefer Seamless because they have a native integration with HubSpot. So I just need to click one button and I will have 1,000 leads daily, for example. And my dream is that HubSpot develop this kind of system because it will be easier to use. I'm gonna send the names here in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I saw that you can connect it via Zapier to HubSpot, but yeah, there's also a native integration.
Yes, they have a native integration. It's pretty easy to use. It's just like a click and play integration. So I think it's amazing to do this kind of job.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's super helpful. I think we can go to the next question. Again, it's very short, but I think we can expand it. Somebody wanted to know about the process and accountability. We already talked a little bit about the process. You said definitely use a platform for outbound sales. In regards to accountability, I'm not sure what exactly the person meant who submitted this question. So if you recognize yourself, you can jump off mute and explain more. But the way I understand it, accountability says like your sales reps to make sure that they're meeting their quota. How to do that, I guess.
So I think in the first place, you need to have a CRM to do that and to use HubSpot to this job. It's an amazing solution because there you can have a forecast platform. You can have a sales funnel conversion as well. And I understand accountability more. How do you know that someone is doing the right thing at the job? And how do you, I don't know, change something if they are doing wrong? Or how do you do some money, I don't know, some incentive if they are doing right? And I think the best way to do that is to segment the process. So for example, if you have just one person doing all the sales funnel, it's very difficult to make them accountable if they did a bad job at the beginning of the funnel, because they will say that they are not doing so well because they are focused more in the end of the funnel. And the same thing happens when you look in the other scenario. So I think if you segment the process, it's easier to, for example, you are not performing well in generating some leads and you don't have an excuse for that. And we are not closing some deals and you don't have an excuse for that. So I think segment the process is the answer here.
Okay. Do you have any additional tips on how to segment? You mentioned that you do the top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel segmentation. Is there any other segmentation you would recommend? Getting maybe region or industry? Oh, Clayton is saying lead scoring.
Lead scoring is a good way. And for example, if the lead have a low score, you can send to a specific team. And if they have a high score, you can send to another. Another way to segment is to make all the top of the funnel be a SDR responsibility and the end of the funnel be a sales executive responsibility, for example. It's another way to do it. You can segment by industry, for example. This team works only with financial services. This other here work only with real estate. So you have a lot of ways to segment the process, but I think the easiest way to do is to segment by function. So one person prospect and qualify, and The other one will be responsible for closing some deals.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it's simple, especially for smaller teams. Okay, thank you. Okay, and the next question mentions HubSpot and specifically lead generation as a HubSpot solutions partner. If you have any tips on that, how to generate leads if you're a HubSpot solutions partner. I can drop a link for those for those who don't know what the program is. I'll drop a link in the chat. But yeah, Renato, please, if you have any tips.
Okay, great. So my main channel today is the inbound channel. So most of my leads came from my site, my website. And my second one is from referrals. So former clients, friends, and former coworkers, they usually refer us. And the next 20% is from my network, and the rest usually came from outbound. And to do outbound in this channel, I usually use Seamless, and they have a filter that I can choose all the leads that have the HubSpot pixel in their website. And I only choose the region that I'm gonna prospect and the industry, and they will give me all the emails I need. But to generate these leads from an outbound perspective, it's only possible using platforms like I said, like Seamless, Apollo, ZoomInfo. Doing this by hand, it's very difficult because you're gonna need to go to the lead website. You need to inspect the code. You need to do a Command F and search for HubSpot. So this is not very scalable. And I track referrals. Normally, they tell me when they reach me. For example, oh, someone refer your company, and when they convert in an inbound process, my SDR normally asks this question too, how they came to us. And if they don't answer this question, I can track using HubSpot to see, for example, if they came from a different website, for example.
Maybe
Yes.
I have an additional question about referrals. Do you have like a property in HubSpot where you track that?
Yes.
Operationally?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I have
yeah,
a property.
Daniel. Mm-hmm.
Yes. This happens a lot, Daniel. The domain health, if you do the cold mail strategy in the wrong way, is going to be affected. So normally I generate these leads on Seamless. They give me a percentage of the, for example, if the email is the wrong one or the right one. But after that, I take all these emails and I upload it in a platform called Email Validity, for them to validate these emails for me. And only after that, I start to prospect. Because if you do that before, this is probably going to hurt your domain authority.
Okay, great to validate all emails before you actually do any outreach. Okay, yeah, that was a great question. Yeah, great questions. Yeah, thank you, Clayton and Daniel. Okay, so we have another question, and then we're actually done with the pre-submitted questions. So if you're interested in something specific, please be sure to add it in the chat. Yeah, the last question we received is a bit longer. And the person asked about product-led sales versus product-led growth. And they told us every company desires to be completely product-led, to have completely product-led sales with no touch sales approach. This leads to a hybrid selling model that's being referred to as product-led sales. Do you have any experience with this? How did it work for you in contrast to different selling methods? And yeah, this person is also looking to understand how you can connect the outsourced sales with product-led sales. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, so this is a tough question. I already implemented some product-led sales, but this is a very difficult thing to do because you need to have the right product and the right lead. So, for example, if you have a product that is very easy to understand, and your client they normally know a lot of things about the product that you sell, it's very easy to, for example, build a workflow in your website that, for example, your client is going to convert and is going to close the deal itself. But if you have a complex solution, for example, it's very difficult to make your product sell themselves, because it's necessary to have a human explaining some use cases and how the product can work. Then I think one good example of that is HubSpot. It's nearly impossible, for example, for you to sell the HubSpot Operations Hub in a product-led sales strategy, because it's a very complex solution, have a lot of functions, and you need to understand a lot of code to see the value of the platform. But for example, if you are selling some car leasing, for example, in Brazil, you can do that using product-led sales, because you just need to show the car price, the commercial condition for the sales conditions, and the length of the contract. And if the clients agree with all of that, they can sign itself. But depends on your product, because I think, for example, the HubSpot Sales Hub, you can sell using this strategy because it's not very complex. But in the same product, you have different hubs, and all of them needs a different strategy to sell. So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. But like I said, if you have a good product, a not so complex one, it's amazing, because the customer acquisition cost, it's low. And I think nobody like to handle sales people all the time. They are not so easy to motivate, and they like money, like like everyone. So it's not a solution for all kinds, but if you have this scenario, I think it can help you. And the main difference between these two scenarios is that product-led growth, you need humans to close the deal at the end, and the product-led sales, you don't need any sales team, but you will need a lot of product managers, product owners, designers, UX specialists, and also developers to change your flow all the time to fit your lead needs.
Okay, yeah. So I guess the investment at the beginning to make sure that the flow, like with self-purchase, is working. Yeah, the investment is a bit bigger in the beginning when
Yes,
product-led
you need to
sales.
invest a lot. Yes, you need to
Okay.
invest a lot of money, but at the end, if the strategy goes well, it will be cheaper to sell. But at the beginning, it's a little more expensive than just putting a human to close the deals.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I think this has been very interesting, Renato, especially as you're coming from years and years of experience in sales and as well as company building. So yeah, we have another 10 minutes left, which I want to give back to the auditorium, to the attendees, to see if they have any questions. Maybe we can start with a question for the attendees. What is something that you struggle the most in the sales process? Especially if you're doing outbound sales, what is like the hardest part of it? Is it managing the sales personnel? Like, yeah, like Renato said, yeah, of course, they want money for their hard work. Is it building the process in the platform? Is it getting leads in the first place? What is something that you struggle with most? Feel free to jump off mute. If not, you can add the answers. Go ahead.
I think that what I'm noticing with this organization I'm with now, different than the bank. So, you're working for the largest bank in Canada, leads are sort of provided for you in a large way, and it's easier to maybe make those connections. from a cold call standpoint, or from a product like ours, a service like ours, it's a little bit challenging to explain what it is to folks, right? And and some great feedback I got from a call like this one on LinkedIn last week that I attended was, and I offer this, I'm a sales expert by all means, but on LinkedIn, this is their advice, is minimize the number of links in an email, especially your first email, because people won't trust them. The gentleman speaking today mentioned a video. LinkedIn did mention a short video is a good idea because it's a safe thing to open versus a link, right? And providing your contact information is very important. Something that I've added is I have and I put it in the chat blog here, but I actually have a bio on my webpage, and I provide that in the opening statement of opening paragraph for all my leads. And that way they know they're talking to a human being. This is who I am. You can authenticate me on LinkedIn. You know, like this is who I am, right? And I want to help you because, but there's so much spam out there and robots that you have to be able to get past that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tip here with the links. Not too many links in an email. Yeah, Renato, do you have a comment or feedback?
Yes, it's a good, I think this is a good approach, because if you have more than 3 links, most of the email servers, they're gonna send you to the spam box, and the link needs to be something that your lead really needs. And I think, like I said, a short video, it's a easier way to do that. I think it's more objective than a link for a random link, for example. And I think that's it. This point is awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Nice. Anybody else want to jump off mute? What is it that you struggle with most? The sales process. Go ahead.
Not an exact struggle, but just on that point, I guess in my mind, right, wouldn't be doing a long video and then cutting it up in multiple short films be probably the better way of filling out kind of, I guess, the content of that? Have you had any success in doing that, or have you done that before?
Yeah, I think this can be an approach you do, especially if you have a sequence with 4 or 5 emails, for example. You can build awareness with that. You send the first short video telling the lead that you're gonna send another email in 2 days or 1 business day, and you send the rest of the message in the second video, telling them the same thing about the third video. It's a good way to build some rapport too. You only need to I think the main problem with a lot of videos in a mail sequence is that you need to make your lead convert as soon as possible, you know? So I will only take care about building a lot of videos. I think 3 or 4 is sufficient to do that job, but you need to do this lead convert in the first or the second approach, because if you don't do that, you need to manage a lot of sequence running at the same time. And it's very easy to get lost with that.
Okay, so yeah, you just instead of having multiple videos, you're just making sure that the lead converts like in the second or third outreach, I guess, email. Would you also include emails in those videos, in the follow-up videos? Sorry, in the follow-up emails?
Yes.
I
think it's a good approach too.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I guess video is the way to go. Also, a tip that worked for one of my colleagues. I started in sales actually here at HubSpot, and something that worked really well for one of my colleagues was video, indeed, but personalized video. So it was a lot of work. He basically made, I would say, 20 videos in a day where, you know, he would just go, hi, Antonio, I just checked out your company. I'm just on your website. I would do this and this differently. it was a lot of work, but it paid off in the end. He was, month after month, one of the most successful sales reps, in our team. So video definitely works, and personalization.
It's almost an actor.
Oh,
videos
yeah,
a
yeah.
day, it's a lot of things.
It's a lot of
stuff.
effort. Yeah, a lot of effort. Okay. Does anybody else? Oh, Mike had a great quote he shared, a quote. If you plant the seed, the tree will grow and fruit from the tree comes sooner. If you do not plant the seed, the tree will never grow. Yeah, exactly. So you have to start, right? Otherwise, nothing will happen. Mike, I think this is what you wanted to say, right?
Yes, you have to commit to a number of spins per day, right? And then the outcome, how many spins you make or contacts, if you will. In the bank, it was spins because we only did phone contacts, but in this industry, it's emails. But you have to commit to a certain amount, and then out of those certain amount, how many expected, returns, replies do you expect, and then how many essentially booked appointments do you expect to get from that? And only with that plan or strategy are you going to be successful. If you just think, well, I made 80 contacts today, were they quality contacts, right? Or were they just kind of robotic contacts? And if they're robotic, you have to ask yourself, what do you expect, right? But if you took 10 time for 10 really personalized, specific leads, somebody used to comment earlier in the call around the kind of clients that we have, the ideal customer ICP, right? So if you take 10 ICP contacts and spend time on formulating a direct contact, I think your results are going to be higher. And that's the system the banks use. That's a system that is proven to be effective. But especially now, I'm an independent consultant. If you don't make those spins, you're not going to generate the opportunities. So you have to self-discipline, and you have to do it. Yeah, that's what that's.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I think, Renato, this is something you mentioned before, right? Segmentation and making sure that you're just addressing, the, I guess, most qualified leads.
Yes,
Back to that.
exactly. It's almost like going to the gym. You need to go every day to see results. Sales is the same thing. It's not so boring as go to the gym, but it's something that you need to do every day.
So a similar approach. Okay. Well, yeah. So yeah, we're just at time. We have another minute left. Thank you again, everyone, for joining, and a big thank you to you, Renato, for being here as our guest speaker and expert and sharing your experience. Mimi, I saw your comment about the links. Renato, I think it's okay if we share them in the community afterwards. It was about the outreach platform as well as email validation apps. Make sure to join the community, and we'll share a recap as well as a recording of this event, and also the links that Renato shared. And Renato, I think you're also in the community. If somebody has a follow-up question, will you be there to answer?
Feel free to reach me, and you're welcome, Mia and Ali. And if you guys need anything else, or if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach me. I'm very available. And it was a pleasure to do this roundtable with you all.
Thank you so much, Renato. So yeah, thank you all, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.